Hi friends, Krista here. Thank you so much for stopping by Books and Jams. Before I get into talking about my stats and numbers and favorites of the year, I wanted to take a minute to do this video real quick and just share with you some of my reading highlights of 2022. When I look back at 2022, for sure, there are some hard times, especially with my family, especially with Jordan and his health. There were some difficulties in the year for sure, but there also were a lot of really wonderful moments and events that happened both in life in general, but in reading life as well. And I'm going to share some of those reading year highlights with you right now. I think the stats are fun. The numbers are fun. But let's look at some of the moments, the things that happened that just brought me a lot of joy this year. The first thing I'm going to talk about are my BookTube besties. I love these ladies so much. I love that I get to chat with them. I love that BookTube brought us together. The people I'm talking about are Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Amanda from The Curly Reader. I talk about them all the time, but there were three specific things this year with the besties that are highlights for me. Of course, the first one is getting to see them in person. This year we went to Madison, Wisconsin. It's kind of more in the Midwest, which is more where Lindsay and Amanda live. So Sarah and I flew out to them. And this year that trip was enhanced because not only did I get to see my besties, but I also got to meet for the first time in person, Katie from Life Between Words on Instagram. She and I have been hosting Middle Grade March for years, and then Amanda has joined us as well. And I love working with those ladies for Middle Grade March, but I loved that I got to meet Katie in person. And I also got to meet Amber from Books and Beaches, and Amy from Amy's Bookish Life, and Kelly and Renita, and so many others who watch and are subscribers to our channels. We had a little meetup and a few of you guys came, and that was just so special. It was such an amazing long weekend, and I will hold those memories dear to my heart for ages. Also, with the BookTube besties, we hosted our first ever virtual reading retreat in August. We had been talking about wanting to do an in-person retreat, but the numbers of people that would be able to attend something like that were much smaller. And we wanted to open it up to a lot more people. So we're like, let's do something online. We had a blast in August. We had about 50 people come to this Zoom event for 24 hours, and it was so successful that we're doing it again in February. Unfortunately, it's already closed. It's been announced, filled up within hours, and closed. We already have our 50 people. Hopefully, this will be something that we will continue to do because it's just been so much fun and so very successful. And I'm so thrilled that these girls and I put something like that together. I'm just really proud of us. The third BookTube besties part of my highlights for the year, of course, is our book exchange that we do every year at Christmas time. We each send each other 8 books and spend months searching thrift stores and little free libraries and their wish lists and their to-read lists on Goodreads and just deciding what books we're going to choose to give each other. And it's so much fun because it's not just a December thing, it lasts for months. And so it has me thinking about these ladies all year long and what books are they reading. I'm keeping an eye out on their hauls. Did they already haul some of the ones that I have in mind for them? It's just a lot of fun. It's a very fun aspect of my year, and I love it. And of course, it's always fun to get books from people who know me so well. They blew it out of the park this year, and I cannot wait to read the books they sent me this year. So the next kind of highlight I'm going to talk about are the readathons that I was a host for in the year, in this past year. Middle Grade March, it was our 5th year hosting Middle Grade March. Katie and Amanda and I host Middle Grade March every year, and it's just a month-long readathon where we encourage adults to pick up kids' books. And there are so many wonderful middle grade books, and I love hearing from you guys that you branched into this area of reading that you hadn't been reading for years, like maybe even since you were a child yourself, and discovering books that were just phenomenal. I have some of my favorites of the year that I read in the month of March. And it's just always so fun to plan and prepare with Katie and Amanda. We're already in preparations for this coming March. This past year, we had merch for the first time, which was really cool. We had t-shirts and mugs and bookmarks, and it just was a lot of fun to kind of deepen that readathon and make it a bigger thing and get more and more people excited about it. I hear people talking about Middle Grade March all over the place. And before 5 years ago, when we started it, it wasn't a thing. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about Middle Grade March, and it's coming up again. And I'm already excited for this coming year. But other readathons that I was a part of, Series September. Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and I have hosted Series September now for 2 years. This is our second year. For me personally, it's a very successful readathon, since reading books that are in series is always one of my goals, but also hearing from so many of you that it helped you with your goal of reading series and it pushed you. And so Sarah and I just have a lot of fun. It's pretty low key. We make a 3x3 bingo board and just encourage people to get caught up on series, or maybe start that series you've been holding on to, or finish a series. And it's fun to chat with Sarah and plan for that. And also just hear from you guys how successful it was for you as well. It's a lot of fun. And then this year I started a new readathon with my friend Amy from Amy's Bookish Life. We had been talking about wanting to read our Book of the Month books, which is another goal of mine. And then Amy came up with Catch-Up-a-thon. And then together we created all the prompts for it. And we had you guys build a burger. Many of you used your Book of the Month books. Others of you could use, we made it vague enough or general enough that you could use other books as well if you wanted to build your burger in September. And it just was such a unique readathon. And I'm proud of Amy for that genius idea she had. And then together we just made it something that was so much fun. Oh my goodness. We had such a blast with that. And we did lives during the month, and it was a lot of fun. And the feedback we had from so many of you also was really positive. So those 3 readathons, Middle Grade March, Series September, and Catch-Up-a-thon, will be coming back in this coming year. So I'm thrilled. And those were definitely highlights of my year. I had started something in 2021 that I did again this year, and it's the Christian nonfiction group reads. I kind of fell off the bandwagon in the second half of the year, but at the beginning of the year, I hosted 2 group reads of Christian nonfiction. We did Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster and Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland. And both of those were such completely positive experiences. I was joined in some live discussions with some other booktubers, and just being able to talk through that book and do like a buddy read, but in a larger group setting, and having those lives on Sundays, like it was really, both of those were very positive experiences for me. And I definitely plan on bringing them back again, but I think I'm going to try for 2 a year rather than, I think the first year I did 3 of them, but I think 2 a year feels good. So 1 sometime in the first half of the year and then 1 in the second half of the year. It's hard to find a time that's just so busy, right? But it's only 1 book and there's absolutely no pressure to join. I'll tell you about an upcoming book in a few weeks, but I just really loved having that faith element on my channel because it's such a huge part of my life, but sharing that with so many of you was really special. Another highlight that I had this year was getting to interview an author on my channel. I was so thrilled when Owl's Nest Publishing reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in speaking with KB Hoyle, the author of Orion and the Starborn. I immediately said yes, and then I got so nervous because I've never done anything like that before. So I was so thrilled to do something new, try something new, and have it go so well. It was so interesting to talk with Karen, learn about her process and her inspiration for Orion and the Starborn. Orion is a middle grade sci-fi fantasy, and I really enjoyed the book. So it was super cool to get to talk with a middle grade author who's part of an indie publishing house that I am a huge fan of, and just try something new on my channel. And I had a lot of positive feedback from many of you. That video will be linked down below in case you missed it. My final highlight that I thought of for my year, my reading year in 2022 is most definitely my Patreon. I am so thankful, so thankful for the 84 of you who are currently patrons of mine. Some of you have been there from the beginning. This is my second full year of having a Patreon. I always feel so much love and support in the comments, but this little added step of sharing some of your finances with me, of tipping me in a way through Patreon, and more than that, just the community that's over there. And we have read some fabulous books together. It's the best book club I've ever been a part of. We actually spend the full hour talking about the book and having some really great discussions. We don't always all agree, but just with grace and kindness for each other and sharing insights. I've learned from you guys. I've felt so much love and support from you. You've been so gracious at times when I've had to change things or life has happened and I've missed things or been forgetful, which has happened a couple times this year. You guys have been just such a huge support and blessing to me. And I would love if any of you are interested to just check out my Patreon page. It's always linked in the description below. Again, there is absolutely no expectation that you will. Nothing is going to change on this channel. I'm going to continue to create lots of content over here, but there are some fun bonuses and just a wonderful community that's all a part of my Patreon. So I would love to have you consider that if that's something that you're able and interested in checking into. So those are some highlights of my 2022 reading year. We're going to talk soon about stats and we're going to talk soon about favorites of the year. But I did just want to take a few minutes and just talk about the good things from 2022, because when I first think about 2022, I think about some of the negative things, and that's hard. And those are a part of reality, but there were a lot of really wonderful things in the year too. And many of them are because of you guys. And I just wanted to take a few minutes today and highlight that. You're wonderful. And I'm so thankful for you. I would love to hear in the comments below, what was one or two of your reading highlights from the year? Maybe it's a book that you loved or a bookish moment that you had in this past year. So that is going to be it for me today. I really appreciate you being here. I am going to continue doing this in 2023, and let's hope for another wonderful year with some wonderful reading moments. I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.